Advice on how to move past being cheated on. I, 24F, have been dating my boyfriend 26M for 3 years. A few months ago, we had a pretty bad fight about a number of things, and things have felt unresolved and rocky since then. After the argument, we split up for a couple of weeks and then decided to work on things. We went to couples therapy for a few weeks. Things felt okay. So we resumed our life together with the knowledge that we still had a lot to work on individually and together. Earlier this month, shortly after the new year, I found a dating app on his phone with inappropriate messages to other girls that had all been sent in the days and weeks prior to me finding the messages, after we had resolved our argument and agreed to work on things. I also found text messages to girls from the summer of 2024, June-July. 2 of the conversations stuck out to me in particular. One girl, he was messaging discussing plans about meeting up with her, going out for drinks, dinner, talking about sleeping in bed with her, etc. The messages to the other girl told me that he had met up with her one time. I honestly didn't go too deep into his messages. I had a brief look at these conversations and couldn't bring myself to read further. I confronted him about the dating app immediately, and he apologized, stating that he shouldn't have done it, but he would never follow through on meeting up with someone from a dating app and was just bored and screwing around. He stated that he downloaded the app when he and I split up, but that nothing ever happened. I was upset for a while, and he eventually turned it into my fault, telling me that our relationship is unsteady right now, and he hasn't been happy. This took me days to process. I couldn't understand how him messaging other girls on a dating app was somehow my fault. I didn't confront him about the text messages right away. I was processing, trying to figure out what to do. I saved the numbers of these girls, sat on it for a few weeks, and then eventually found their social medias and messaged each of them asking about the messages. The first girl told me that they had spoken for about a month in the summer, and they did hook up. The second girl told me that she met my boyfriend on the dating app in July, and they met one time, but that was all. Yesterday, I asked him if he had been on this dating app last summer, as that was the timeline of the messages to these girls, and that is also what the girls were telling me. He immediately blew up, said that he wasn't having the conversation because I woke him up from his nap and he was just done, over my BS, sick and tired of me, and really just didn't want or need me there. He claimed that this girl who told me they hooked up was his ex from years before he and I met, and that all of it was just untrue. Eventually, he got pissed off enough to tell me to get out of the house that we live in together. As I was packing a bag, he was calling all of his friends and telling them that I was acting crazy and messaging his ex-girlfriends, etc., and then he took my key to the house and I left. I didn't tell him that I saw these text messages, and honestly I'm not sure if I even should tell him. I feel like it's maybe not even worth it to confront him again, but I kind of feel like I'm losing it. I'm stuck in a hotel. All of my belongings are at this house that I no longer have access to. I have no family in the area that I can stay with, and I have very limited financial resources, so I can't even afford a hotel for the time it takes me to find a place of my own. He called me a couple hours after I left the house, stating that he was trying to understand why I would message these girls. I explained that I hadn't moved past the dating app messages that I found and had been feeling very uneasy ever since then and have been struggling with trusting him. The conversation was brief. He told me he needed to process, and we left it at that for now. All I can keep thinking about is how I feel so betrayed. I never expected cheating from him. Honestly, that was the one thing that I was pretty solid on throughout our relationship, and now I feel like everything has been a lie, and I've spent 3 years with someone that is basically a stranger. Any and all advice is welcome. How do I even begin to move past this? Has anyone else been through something similar? TLDR, my 26M boyfriend and I, 24F, have been together 3 years. Yesterday, I confronted him about girls that he was messaging last summer while we were dating. I saw the messages earlier this month, and the girls confirmed it when I messaged them on socials. I wasn't sure how to proceed with the information, so I waited until yesterday to ask him about it. He is now making me out to be crazy, telling me that everything is untrue, etc., and kicked me out of the house that we live in together. I'm now stuck in a hotel, trying to process, feeling like our entire relationship has been a lie. Unsure of where we stand right now, I have nowhere to live, and all I can think about is how to move past this. Any and all advice is welcome.